Something powerful happened today, something that not only caught people's attention but also touched hearts across the YouTube community, especially those who value respect, humility, and truth. Because today, people, Colaz Smith TV finally broke his silence. But this wasn't just another response video, this wasn't drama, this wasn't even revenge, this was something much deeper. This was a young man choosing righteousness over reaction, peace over pride, and wisdom over war. Let's start from the beginning, people, because to truly understand this moment, we have to go back a few months ago to where it all began. Colaz Smith TV is not just any YouTuber, he is a brand, a movement, a representation of something bigger than himself. With over 230,000 subscribers and growing rapidly, Colaz Smith TV has built a platform rooted in positivity, culture, and purpose. He represents Jamaica not just as a place, but as a spirit, a people, a mindset, and a way of life that carries strength, resilience, and love. He is known for his God-fearing nature, his humility, and also his humanitarian mindset and his genuine desire to see others grow. Not just himself, but everyone around him, people. Everyone he comes in contact with, that's the kind of person he has and shown himself to be consistently, my people. But as we all know, when light shines bright, it doesn't just attract admiration, it also attracts opposition. Because not everyone is comfortable with growth, not everyone celebrates progress also, and sometimes even those you least expect can become part of the resistance. Alright, now so we are going to enter in Daddy Gargan, an elder in the YouTube space, a man who has been around for quite some time now, someone who identifies himself as a reactor, a commentator, a voice within the community. At one point, there was mutual respect. At one point, there was peace. But something changed, my people, and that change marked the beginning of a situation that slowly unfolded into what we are witnessing today. So a few months ago, things took a turn. Daddy Gargan began to speak on Colaz Smith TV in ways that raised eyebrows. At first, it may have seemed like simple commentary, but over time, it became clear that it was more than that. There was a pattern forming, people, a consistent tone, a direction that leaned more towards criticism than fairness, more towards negativity than constructive dialogue. And the Colaz Smith TV noticed that, my people. Now, anyone who understands human nature knows this. There is only so much a person can take before they respond. And in that moment, the first major turning point, Colaz Smith did respond. He called Daddy Gargan out, and he did so from a place of frustration, a place of emotion, because sometimes even the most humble individuals can reach a breaking point, and when that happens, reactions can be very strong. That moment, that called out, did not sit well with Daddy Gargan, my people. In fact, it seemed to have ignited something, because from that day forward, the situation escalated. What may have started as disagreement turned into something that felt more personal and more intense, people, and also deliberate. Because from that point on, Daddy Gargan appeared to double down, video after video, statement after statement, my people. There was an ongoing effort to speak negatively about Colaz Smith TV, to question him, to challenge him, to present him in a way that did not align with the image that he and many had come to know, people. And this is where things became concerning, because it wasn't just about criticism anymore. It began to look like an attempt to tear down a brand that had been built with time, effort, and honesty. A brand that was not rooted in controversy, but in positivity. A brand that stood for something meaningful. And Colaz Smith TV did not build his platform overnight, as you all know. He worked for it, he earned it through consistency, through discipline, through staying true to his values, people, and most importantly, through faith. But even with all of that, he remained silent for weeks, then months, watching, observing, and listening, my people. And during that time, something else began to happen. Daddy Gargan was not alone anymore. He began aligning himself with others who also had issues with Colaz Smith TV, individuals who for their own reasons did not support his growth, and together the negativity grew louder, stronger, and even more visible. Now, from the outside looking in, many people began to form their own opinions. Some felt disappointed, some felt concerned, and many began to describe Daddy Gargan in ways that reflected that concern, calling him ignorant, calling him bad-minded, questioning his intentions also, not out of disrespect for his age, but out of frustration with his actions, because being an elder carries a lot of responsibility. It carries expectations. Also, when those expectations are not met, people notice. You have to remember that, my people. But through all of this, Colaz Smith TV remained grounded, as you all know. He did not rush to respond. He did not engage in back and forth conflict. He chose patience. And patience is not easy, people, especially when your name is being called, especially when your brand is being questioned, and especially when people are trying to pull you down. But patience is powerful, and that more of my people them know, because while others are speaking, you are learning. While others are reacting, you are understanding, and that's exactly what Colaz Smith TV was doing. He was watching, studying, paying attention, and what he saw over time concerned him, not just for himself, but for Daddy Gargan, because what he began to notice was not just negativity, but decline, a shift in character, a respected elder seemingly going down the wrong path. Simple. Consumed by frustration, consumed by a need to prove a point, to prove something, consumed by the desire for revenge. And that's where the story takes a powerful turn, people, because today, Colaz Smith TV decided to speak, but he didn't come with anger, He didn't come with insults. He didn't even come with hate. He came with something much stronger, people. Love, respect, and truth. He reached out not as an enemy, but as a man, a younger man speaking to an elder, not to disrespect him, but to remind him. He made it clear, I see what you've been doing. I've been watching for over a month, or for months, people, and what I'm seeing is not something I am proud of. He acknowledged the negativity, the attempts to tear down his name, the efforts to damage the Colaz Smith TV brand, and the alliances formed with those who do not have his best interest as at heart, people. But instead of attacking, he responded with clarity. He made something very clear. The Colaz Smith TV brand is not fragile, it is not weak, and it is not temporary. It is founded, grounded, and established, and it is here to do what? Stay, my people. So more before we go no further, more all of my lovely supporters them over here, take the time out to make sure so you type in one Colaz Smith TV and type in is here to stay. Make them see, make all of the haters, all of the fighters them sister God pitney they have to stay. So more see all of the Colaz Smith supporters, all of the Jamaica classified file supporters them, I spam up the comment section with one Colaz Smith TV and is here to stay. And remember, if Jamaica classified files are stay classified, remember more so no hashtag the classified files. Yeah man, make sure so no hashtag classified in the comment section so we know so we are stay classified at all times. At the same time, remember now more people the golden rule, which is to smash up that thumbs up button. Let's get it past 1,000 likes quick and fast so that the platform could automatically rank and recommend the videos and push it out to more persons who are interested in the Colaz Smith situation surrounding Daddy Gargan so them can get the truthful update. At the same time, remember the next golden rule, which is to press that subscribe button down below, press the bell beside it, and press also that as much upon next exclusive, you guys be one of the first persons to get updated or notified. Remember also to share your individual thoughts in the comment section, and I will be personally responding to those comments. Share the vlogs to more friends or family or both, yeah man, so them can get the updates them, and me talk about the righteous and respectful updates them. So now let's get more in detail on the exclusive. As me say, it is stated not because of luck, people, not because of purpose, because of faith, because of God. And this is where the message becomes deeper, because Colaz Smith TV did not just defend himself, he warned Daddy Gargan, not in a threatening way, but in a caring way. He told him, the more you are trying to tear me down is the more you are hurting yourself, because negativity has a cost, hate has a weight, and carrying that weight, especially as an elder, is dangerous. Colaz Smith TV expressed concerns, real concern, not fake, not for show, but genuine concern for Daddy Gargan's well-being. He acknowledged his age, his condition, his humanity, and he said something that many people may not have expected. He essentially said, be careful, take it easy, because this part you're on, it's not healthy. He wasn't worried about his brand at that moment. He wasn't worried about his reputation, because he understands something more important. When you are God-fearing, When you are walking in purpose, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And that's the confidence he carries, not arrogance, confidence, people. Faith-based confidence. He made it clear nothing that is being said about him, nothing that is being done against him is actually damaging him, because his foundation is not built on the people's opinion, it is built on God, and that changes everything again. But what touches many people the most was this, people. Even after everything, he still showed love. He said, I respect you, I care about you, but you disrespected me. And instead of returning that disrespect, he chose a higher path. He chose forgiveness, he chose maturity, and he also chose peace. He asked kindly for it to stop, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom, because at the end of the day, no one is benefiting from this situation. Not Daddy Gargan, not Colaz Smith TV, and not the community they are involved in on YouTube. And as I say, people, that message that needed to be heard, yeah man, this is bigger than YouTube. This is bigger than views. This is bigger than even some people that are run with clicks and views, pictures. You see me? This is about choices. This is about what kind of people we choose to be when conflicts arise. And do we choose ego, or do we choose growth, or do we choose hate, or we choose love? What we do? We choose this. We choose to destroy, or we choose to build. Colaz Smith TV has made his choice. Now the question is, will Daddy Gargan make his? Because, and for everyone watching, for the JA Classified Files family, this is also a choice. What kind of content do we support? What kind of energy do we promote? What kind of voices do we uplift? Because the truth is, the audience has all the power. And if we continue to support platforms that operate with respect, with truth, with balance, then that is what will grow. So if you believe in content that is fair, content that is respectful, content that tells the story without hate, then this is your moment. Remember to subscribe, my people, like, share, and comment, and continue supporting the JA Classified Files, because this platform is not about tearing people down. It's about bringing truth to light in a way that still honors humanity. And as we move forward, let this situation be a reminder. No matter how far things go, there is always a chance to do the right thing. And sometimes doing the right thing starts with simply choosing to be the bigger person. You see me? Yeah, man, my people, because there are moments in life and even in the digital world where situations go beyond simple disagreement. Moments where what we are witnessing is not just conflicts between two individuals, but a reflection of character, maturity, and the choices people make when emotions are involved. And right now, that is exactly what is unfolding between Colaz Smith TV and Daddy Gargan. But to truly understand what's happening, you have to slow down and look beneath the surface, people, because this story is not just about YouTube. It's about human nature. It's about pride, patience, hurt, and ultimately responsibility. Colaz Smith TV is not just a content creator. He is someone who built his presence from intention. From the very beginning, his approach has been different. While many chase clout, controversy, and quick attention, he chose a path rooted in positivity, culture, and faith. Representing Jamaica on a global stage, he has consistently pushed a message of upliftment, not just for himself but for others. He celebrates people, he encourages growth, and he carries himself with a level of humility that in today's digital age is rare. And because of that, his platform has grown organically, strongly, and steadily. But growth, especially visible growth, often brings tension, not always from strangers, sometimes from within the same space, from people who watch you closely, from people who once aligned with you but eventually begin to see things differently. That is where Daddy Gargan enters this picture. An elder, a man with experience, someone who has spent time in the YouTube community and established himself as a reactor, someone who observes, comments, and shares opinions, and for a long time his presence carried a certain level of respect, because in many cultures, especially Caribbean culture, elders are expected to guide, not divide, to uplift, not tear down, to correct, but with wisdom and balance. But somewhere along the line, my people, that expectation began to shift. Months ago, subtle changes started to appear. Mention became sharper, people, opinions became more pointed, and the tone began to change. At first, it didn't seem like much, because on platforms like YouTube, commentary is normal, disagreement is normal, even criticism is normal. But there is a difference between critique and a fixation. And over time, what people began to notice was not just occasional commentary, it was repetition, a pattern, a consistent focus on Colaz Smith TV that felt less like observation and more like intention. That's when the situation even took its first major turn, my people, as you are supposed to know. Colaz Smith TV, known for his calm demeanor, reached a moment where he could no longer ignore what was happening, right? And like many human beings would, he responded, not perfectly, not starfully, but honestly, from a place of frustration. He called Daddy Gargan out. He addressed his dirty behavior directly. And while his reaction may have been fueled by emotion, it was also rooted in the sense of defending what he had worked hard to build. But that moment, instead of creating resolution, created division instead. Because Daddy Gargan did not receive it as a correction, he received it as disrespect, and from that point forward, the dynamic changed completely. What followed was not reconciliation, it was escalation. The tone hardened, the content became more direct, and the focus on Colaz Smith TV intensified. Video after video, commentary after commentary. The narrative continued, my people, and for many watching, it began to feel uncomfortable because there is something deeply unsettling about watching an elder appear to become consumed by negativity. And that's the word that kept coming up. Negativity, my people. Not constructive criticism, not balanced analysis, but a kind of energy that felt heavy, repetitive, and at times personal. And then came another layer. Alliances, my people. Daddy Gargan was no longer standing alone in his views. He began associating with others who also had negative perspective about Colaz Smith TV, and together the voices became louder. Now, in any situation, when multiple individuals come together around a shared frustration, it can go one of two ways. It can lead to a resolution or it can amplify division. Unfortunately, this seems to lean toward the latter because people from the outside looking in, it began to appear as though there was a coordinated effort, whether intentional or not, to challenge, to question, and diminish the Colaz Smith TV brand. But here is where the story becomes deeper now, my fans, because not even fans, my family members, because while all of this was happening publicly, Colaz Smith TV did something unexpected. He stayed quiet all along. Not because he didn't see people, not because he didn't feel it, but because he understood something many people don't all know. Not every situation needs immediate reaction. This is power in observation. This is wisdom in waiting. And during that period of silence, he watched carefully. He paid attention not just to the words being said, but to the direction things were going. And what he saw concerned him severely, people, not just for his brand, but for Daddy Gargan himself, because what he began to witness was not just criticism, but a decline in composure, a shift in spirit, a respected elder slowly being pulled into something that did not reflect wisdom, but agitation, people. And that is where everything changed, because when Colaz Smith TV finally decided to speak, he didn't come back with anger. He came back with awareness. His message was not built on revenge, it was built on reflection. He acknowledged everything, the months of negativity, the repeated attempts to chip away at his name, and even the collaborations with individuals who did not wish him well. But instead of matching that energy in a people, he elevated the conversation. He spoke as a man who understands his position, a man who knew his worth, and most importantly, a man who knew his foundation. He made it clear that his brand was not something temporary, not something easily shaken, because what he built was built with intention, with honesty, and also with faith. And when something is built on those principles, it doesn't collapse under pressure. But then he said something that shifted the entire tone of the entire situation. He expressed concern, people, not sarcasm, not mockery, concern. He spoke about Daddy Gargan not just as an opponent, but as an elder, as a human being, someone whose health, whose well-being actually matters. He pointed out something many people really and truly is overlooking. That constant anger, constant stress, The constant negativity doesn't just affect the mind, it affects the body. And for someone in an elderly stage of life, that is not something to take lightly. His message in essence was this: the path that you're on is not hurting me, it's hurting you. And that is a powerful statement, people, because it shifts the focus. It moves the conversation away from blame and towards self-awareness. He even went deeper, suggesting that perhaps this situation was not rooted in pure hatred, but something more complex: a desire for control, a desire for things to be a certain way, a desire to have influence over something that was never meant to be controlled. And instead of accusing, he simply acknowledged that. You understand? Then came the part that truly defined his response, because despite everything, he chose love. He said in his own way, I respect you, I don't hate you, but I will not accept disrespect. And that balance is not easy to achieve, people, because it requires emotional discipline, spiritual grounding, and a level of maturity that goes beyond ego. From a God-fearing perspective, this moment carries even more weight, people, because it reflects a principle that is often spoken about but rarely practiced: responding to negativity with grace, not because the negativity is deserved, but because your character is not defined by how others treat you, it is defined by how you choose to respond. And that is what Colaz Smith demonstrated. He did not allow the situation to change who he is. He remained consistent, grounded, centered, and in doing so, he not only protected his brand, he protected his peace. Now, the situation stands at a crossroad, my people, because the message has been delivered clearly, respectfully, and with intention. The question now is what Colaz Smith will do next. The question is what that may I say, no, people. The question is not what Colaz are gonna do next. The real question is what Daddy Gargan will do. Will there be reflection? Will there be accountability? Or will there be a shift? Or will the cycle continue? And for the audience, for those watching, commenting, sharing, there is also responsibility for you guys, because what we support shapes what we see more of. If negativity is constantly rewarded, it will grow. But if maturity, respect, and truth are what we uplift, then that becomes the standard. And that is where platforms like JA Classified Files come in, because not every story needs to be told with bias. Not every situation needs to be fueled by hate. There is space for balance, there is space for respectful discussion, and there is space for truth without tearing people down. So, if you are someone who values that, if you are someone who wants to see content that informs without destroying, that analyzes without disrespecting, then this is your reminder. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment, and continue supporting a platform that stands for something more, because at the end of the day, this situation is not just about two names. It's about a lesson in patience, a lesson in resistance, and a lesson in what is true, what is truly mean, people, to be a bigger person. So once more again, it was JA Classified Boss over here telling you guys to stay safe, stay blessed, stay tuned into the movement where we really, truly, and really and truly care about people's thoughts, people's meaning. So enough love, enough respect. Up until the next one, I am out.